Hey, you're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic, a Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast set in a world in which magic is technology, and mostly owned by corporations. I'm your mostly adequate dungeon master and host, Joey. We're kicking off Season 3 of the podcast with this episode, which is a recap of the events of the campaign thus far. That includes the first two seasons, which run from Episode 1 to 20, and then 21 to 51, respectively. Just a warning that there's going to be a lot of spoilers, obviously, so just keep that in mind. If you have any questions about the plot, what the bonus episodes are, or just general life advice, always feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, at AAMagicPod, or on Reddit, also at AAMagicPod. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this recap started.
Welcome to Falcon's Reach, a city in which magic is technology. You're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic.
We start off with a shot of someone's face. He has blonde ombre hair and haunting blue eyes. The camera continues to back up, revealing that this 30-something human is wearing a dark red suit and a dark trench coat. It's you, Niklaus. We see you floating in darkness with a constant low hum of whispers surrounding you.
Niklaus has been in this situation before. It's not his first rodeo, so he tries to remain calm as he listens to the whispers, and he's trying to see if they're saying anything intelligible, if they're getting louder, getting quieter, if he recognizes any of the voices.
Yeah, go and do a perception check.
11.
There's not a whole lot here. The whispers are indistinct and murmuring. They almost sound like they're talking amongst themselves. In the distance, you see something floating towards you. And as it gets closer, you see that it's one of these Walkman discs that allow users to experience the memories of others. It is definitely not a save file icon. It floats closer and closer to you.
Don't do it. The other discs we've seen before all had symbols on them, right?
Yep.
Do I see a symbol on this one?
Yeah. It's a symbol relevant to you. What is it?
It's a symbol that Niklaus used when he was back in school. He and his friends had like a little secret club, and it has an S that you would draw by writing 3 lines, and then below it 3 more lines.
Nice.
And then you connect them.
What does it stand for? What does the S stand for?
What does it mean?
He doesn't know, but it's been passed down from generation to generation, and he knows it's important somehow.
Yeah. As the little diskette floats towards you, you see this symbol emblazoned on it.
He reaches out to grab.
It floats into your hand. You suddenly realize that you have the player part, the magical Discman player. It appears in a strap on your waist.
Niklaus will put the disc in and have a listen.
You plug in the diskette, and you put on the little headset part. You blink, and you find yourself in a very industrial facility with 4 tubes.
Do I recognize the tubes?
You do. Oh. You recognize the tubes. One of them is broken, with glass shattered about, and you see the naked figures of 3 people, including yourself. suddenly there's a red light blaring. The klaxon goes off, and the three figures are rudely flushed out of the tubes. As the current version of you stands here, looking on, you feel a familiar presence manifest right next to you. And you see Hyrkir. Hyrkir, what do you look like?
Hyrkir is a young half-orc. In the upper teens, he looks about 5'8" tall. He has messy black hair, shoulder length, and black eyes, and a scraggly, unkempt beard. He wears mismatched clothing that has very earthy tones.
Current Niklaus and current Hyrkir, the two of you are sort of just standing in the corner of this room watching your past selves flounder about, gaining their bearings. There's also a third person here, who the three of you know as Jack. And this is the first time in a while since I read Jack's description, and I cannot reiterate how shitty it is.
Yeah, suck it, Willie.
Literally, all he wrote was that Jack has a round face, small eyes, small nose, small mouth, small ears, and has a wise look on his face.
So he's got small features but also looks really smart.
Does he have hair? Who knows? Is he
he have
clothed?
hair?
Maybe.
In this particular situation, he is not clothed.
Well, none of us will.
Okay, there is other stuff.
How does everybody feel about it? All right.
He has brown hair that is dirty, matted, and unkempt, roughly medium length all around. He is quite muscly. The scene is familiar for Hyrkir and Niklaus, or the present versions of yourselves. It's the start of Season 1. Your past selves flounder around trying to find your clothes.
Look, that went well. It was very smooth.
And then proceed to spend about an hour trying to open the door.
That's real time as well.
Feel free to comment as the two of you look at each other.
So this is like the director's cut version of our adventure, where with the director's commentary.
The commentary, yeah.
This is the
DVD commentary.
Yeah, so y'all can investigate for further details and also just comment about the things that are happening.
I think Niklaus would make eye contact with Hyrkir and point to their past selves and with a questioning look on his face and kind of tilt his head well, what?
Niklaus, as you see your past self fumbling about, you take a look at present Hyrkir, who is standing right next to you. And immediately it becomes clear to you that this isn't real Hyrkir. It's Hyrkir colored by your thoughts and feelings about him.
It's my mental model of what Hyrkir is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a puppet.
But one that my subconscious controls, or the Walkman controls.
This version of Hyrkir seems pretty autonomous. Is there any particular difference between real Hyrkir and this Hyrkir?
This Hyrkir is stronger, just because Niklaus has this belief that orcs are always kind of strong, even though Hyrkir has proven in the past to not be that strong. Niklaus still has that presumption.
Racist.
Yep. And this Hyrkir, it's gotta be something emotionally different. What's different? Maybe this one has a crush on Seirys.
Seirys does not appear until Season 2, so...
Yeah. But this Hyrkir knows about future Seirys, so maybe it'll come up.
The trick now, Jeremiah, is to play Niklaus's version of Hyrkir.
Okay.
Yep. The two of you look on at your past selves, who quickly discover have magical powers, something that is a rarity in this world.
Man, we really lucked out surviving, getting out of this place.
We did. That door was very challenging.
We didn't have a good time with doors.
Don't remind me. but also where we met Tiger.
Yeah.
As you say that, the scene cuts ahead. The three of you have reached the control room, revealing that you guys are in a floating research station. You meet Tiger, a rabbit wearing a beanie and tactical vest. He gives you an incredibly tiny sheet of paper.
Oh my god, the tiny sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
It was so tiny.
And then it cuts to the three of you plummeting
That was good.
from the sky using a very makeshift parachute system.
Super makeshift. How did we even survive that? Really?
It's the luck of the roll, man.
Trick question, twist. You didn't. You've been dead the
All
whole
been
time.
a dream.
As your past selves fall from the sky, the two ghostly versions of you are just sort of like dragged along. So you guys are just like falling behind, but you don't really get the sense of vertigo.
We're like Gonzo and Rizzo in Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, the two of you are just sort of like casually chatting with each other as you plummet down towards the earth.
It's a bit drafty up here.
It seemed to go a lot faster last time.
I don't know. For me, the fall felt like it was forever.
My whole life flashed before my eyes.
There's a sudden time skip, and we see the three of you being saved by Audrey. She's a human with dark brown hair and a tight bun in her late 20s, and she wears a dirty pair of beige overalls and oversized leather working gloves, and a pair of goggles on her head.
Good old Audrey.
Yeah, I don't know what we would have done without her. We didn't have anything.
Died in the warehouse.
Caught by the corpos.
Certainly possible.
Audrey helps you guys find the address of Tiger's organization, which is called Hyrkir. She, however, is arrested by the local police, apparently at the behest of one of the major corporations. The scene cuts to the three of you attempting to break into the police station, once again stymied by doors. Your past selves encounter your frenemies, Virginia, a halfling in a gray suit, and Galzar, a half-orc, who both work for Valdivian, the company trying to hunt down Audrey.
Virginia! Hyrkir shakes his fist.
Yeah, just as that happens, the scene cuts to her like kicking you in the face like a couple times.
Fast forward this. I don't like this part.
So they have a remote.
The three of you also meet Gobzu,
Oh, good old Gobzo.
who himself is pursued by a goblin gang previously encountered by the party. Audrey eventually directs the three of you to Constance, her sister, who can forge IDs to get everybody into the city. As the three of you somewhat unintentionally break into her apartment, her security paintings attack. In the background, there's the scene where the painting very nearly murders Jack.
Yeah, those paintings are dangerous. Those paintings are so dangerous.
The scene then cuts to a train,
Uh-oh.
on which the three of you are attempting to steal Magitech from, so that Constance can forge the IDs.
Uh-oh. Although the goblin contraptions were kind of funny.
Yeah, there's a shot of the goblin levitating 18-wheeler with catapults to launch goblins, special forces goblins.
Oh, yeah.
It goes through the whole chase scene. The police and Virginia raid Constance's apartment. Just as the three of you are about to start your heist, the three of you escape the police, only to encounter the goblin gang, who is also pursuing you because of Gobzu.
Gobzo.
There's a confrontation on the train between you and the goblins that is interrupted by Virginia. The three of you then fight a metal security snake, and in the process of doing so, flipping a switch that controls something in the next car. We see Jack, Niklaus, and Hyrkir enter the next train car, and they encounter a bloodbath.
Ooh.
You see a beautiful white-haired half-elf woman in prison clothes who has murdered an entire squad of corporate security. As you see this woman, you realize that this is the woman who was in the fourth tube. She summons a demon
No big deal.
casually,
Pieces right out.
As you do.
and teleports away. The two of you know what's coming.
Oh,
Should never hit that button on that containment field.
you didn't know. I mean, how could you? How could we have known? We certainly wouldn't have expected anyone to summon a demon. I don't think we even knew that was a possibility in this modern age. Also, how come she got to be way more powerful than us?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she came out, like, so much more powerful. Were we in the tubes for too long?
Not in the tubes for long enough.
Maybe.
I mean, we were extricated, and like hers looked like it was blown up or something.
She got herself out, maybe.
Yeah.
Why was she different?
The fight continues in the background. As the demon grabs Jack, you see that he has managed to gain hold of a magical bazooka left behind by the corporate security squad. There's an explosion, and the train derails. From the two of y'all's point of view, the scene skips forward as your past selves extricate themselves from the rubble. As the two of you make your escape, you encounter a wounded Virginia.
Ugh.
Audrey and Niklaus, the two of you help save her. And the party makes their escape. Eventually you guys meet up with Constance, who escaped earlier, and using the magitech that you stole from the train, makes new IDs for y'all.
Hooray!
She decides to join you guys and Audrey and Gobzu, and the three of you head into Falcon's Reach proper. And as you do, you see that a news report suggests that Virginia reported you guys and Audrey as dead.
You know, I always admired Jack's strong will through such adversity.
Strong arms, too.
Small face, though.
Like, so small.
But why?
Peculiarly.
Couldn't Willie have just said that he has a small head?
That small mouth and those small eyes attached to a muscular body.
Like a mismatched action figure.
It's like he activated tiny head mode in like the video game he was playing.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to our recap for seasons 1 and 2. My name is Roy, I play Niklaus on the pod. I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreons for their continued support, and if you're interested in some of our extra content, you can find it at www.patreon.com/adequatelyadvancedmagic. And for all of our latest updates and episode releases, check out our Twitter at twitter.com/aamagicpod. Now let's get back to the rest of the episode.
As the scene shifts, Niklaus, the voices in your head grow louder and a little bit more distinct. And once again, it sounds like a bunch of voices chatting amongst themselves and also just gawking at the things that you're looking at.
So I get the sense that they're watching what I'm seeing.
Yeah. There's at least one voice that is loudly chewing popcorn.
That one's just always there.
It's not the chewing that annoys me. It's the digging their hand through the bucket, rattling around on the popcorn kernels. Just grab a handful, put it in your mouth. Why do you keep... Ugh.
Hyrkir, Niklaus, and Audrey and Gobzu, the entire group gets lost as they attempt to find Hyrkir from the tiny sheet of paper that Tiger gave them.
Oh boy.
And then we see Hyrkir and Niklaus meet Seirys. What do you look like, Seirys?
What does the past version of Seirys look like?
Yep.
All right. So Seirys is a very tall half-elf female. She's got silver blonde hair that's tied in a long ponytail, and she has a very kind face with green eyes. She also has a very muscular build. And When Hyrkir, Niklaus, and Seirys meet, at that time Seirys is wearing her police uniform, which is just like the dark blue police shirt and dark pants, and then the armored vest that says Falcon's Reach Police Department on it. And I think at the time they were stopping a robbery together, and so Seirys had her police baton out and was going to town on some robbers.
What about the silver earrings?
She has silver earrings and green eyes. I wrote that in my character description and have not mentioned it since, but it's all true. She's also very young. Sorry, she's like in her early to mid 30s.
Is that the definition of very young now?
For half elves.
For half.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, no, I get it, Joey. If it was a human, that would be like early 20s. I do not consider myself very young anymore.
The scene playing out in the background is the fight in the convenience store against several gnolls.
Oh, yes. Friggin' gnolls.
For ghostly Niklaus and Hyrkir, a ghostly Seirys appears next to you.
Bah!
And once again, this series is a figment of Niklaus's mind, so is there any difference from real Seirys?
She doesn't have earrings because Niklaus never noticed.
That's the only difference.
She never mentioned them, never brought attention to them, so he doesn't remember, he doesn't know they're there. So that's one thing. So there's one physical thing, and then let's see, what's the emotional difference? This Seirys is even more like self-conscious and like timid. I don't know.
All right, I can work with that. If I may, I really don't think that color worked on me.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, thanks so much, Niklaus. You're always so smart.
Not, I have a lot of things to say, but we'll move on.
Wow, I'm really messing those guys up, aren't I?
Was she?
Actually, no. I think I
As
badly.
we turn to look at the battle.
Like 5 times. You turn back and she is not messing them up.
Well, I mean, I am doing things very by the book in this fight. I'm waiting for their turn to attack me, and then I'm attacking them when it's my turn.
That is by the handbook.
Yeah.
Seirys, Niklaus, and Hyrkir, the three of you bake a cake.
I forgot about that. I thought we just got cake making ingredients.
Oh, right.
No, she had to bake the cake.
Yeah, she had to bake the cake.
I don't remember what her name was.
Baked in the stomach. Yeah.
And somehow this makes you unlost.
It all makes perfect sense.
It makes more sense if you listen to the episode, which I highly recommend that you do.
It was a weird time.
Hyrkir and Niklaus, as the two of you talk with Seirys, you discover that the three of you are heading in the same direction. Seirys is searching for her missing father, and believes that Hyrkir might know something about it.
I do remember the two of you were kind of a little bit suspicious of me at first, and so much so that you gave me fake names.
I mean, to be fair,
You're a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't see what protecting and serving our city has to do with any of that, but I know you, the two of you have been through a lot.
You can literally hear Hyrkir's spirit's eyes roll into the back of his head.
But we're all good friends now, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
We see past Seirys, Niklaus, and Hyrkir meet Hyrkir, which is headed by Alistair, a somewhat elderly elf with gray hair. It turns out Hyrkir is a law practice, which helps the downtrodden citizens wherever they can. Alistair and Tiger agree to help Hyrkir and Niklaus find out what happened to them, and to help Seirys find her father. In the meantime, they are asked to protect the plaza in which they are temporarily residing. In the background, we see Rourke and his Gnoll gang threaten the denizens of the plaza in an attempt to get its owner to sell for unknown reasons.
Stupid gnolls.
That was awfully nice of Hyrkir to let us stay at this plaza.
After several confrontations, party tracks Rourke to his base, a night/day club.
Is that just called a club?
A club. And we see the three of you guys looking on as DJ Hammerroar blasts people with his magical sunglasses.
Oh my gosh. DJ Hammerroar.
Wow, what a party this was, eh, fellas?
It was that.
Yeah, I think I remember I got hit pretty hard, and oh gosh, I'm just so embarrassing. I'm so self-conscious right now.
Yeah, Hammer War is actually pretty banging.
The scene shifts forward a little bit, and we see that Rourke is working at the behest of Valerie, a detective and friend of Seirys. A fight breaks out in the club. The party chases down Rourke and interrogates him, and he tells the party that Valerie herself is taking orders from someone named Lillian, who, as it turns out, is the former boss of Niklaus at one of the corporations.
I might have been a bit in denial about Valerie here, and I apologize for any sort of drama that caused during that fight.
There was a lot going on. Sure.
Yes.
I literally forgot about it until I just saw it now.
Well, that's concerning, but that's okay. Right, so your boss Lillian, that was wow, what a piece of work.
Yeah, working for him was... what's the word? Grueling?
Did he at least give regular bonuses or generous PTO or anything like that?
Yeah, Lillian's a piece of work.
The scene shifts forward again. We see Hyrkir, Niklaus, and Seirys attempt to find Valerie at her address, which they obtained from her police precinct.
Perfectly legally.
Can we skip this part?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I remember very much not liking this next part.
We see a scene play out in which the three of you discover that Virginia and Galzar are also investigating Valerie because of her connection to Lillian, who is suspected of doing extracurricular work outside of the company that all three of them work for. The two sides encounter each other at Valerie's place, which is Booby Trap, and, I don't know, shenanigans ensue.
So many shenanigans.
So many shenanigans.
So much, what was it, cake? Cheesecake supplies?
Cheesecake. The entire group eventually escapes Valerie's trap, and Galzar tells the group that Lillian is hosting a party in a couple of days, and he asks the group to infiltrate it. In the meantime, Valerie arranges to meet Seirys in an attempt to convince her to abandon the plaza. She warns that she works at the behest of Lillian to prevent violence, but also earn money.
Of course.
Totally above board.
And in the background, we see Niklaus and Hyrkir secretly try to follow Seirys.
I might have
It
jumped
worked
out a
really
window. I don't remember.
You're pretty successful secretly following. I don't know.
An invisible assassin kills Valerie for her apparent failure to purchase the plaza.
Every night in my dreams, I try to think of a way, if there was anything I could have done to save her. Why didn't I react faster? Why didn't I do anything? Sorry.
Well, it was invisible and hard to hit.
This still hurts to watch and think about.
Joey's like slowing it down as Valerie's body slowly falls off the...
Can we make this thing go faster? I can't believe the two of you were there too.
Yeah, why'd you go alone?
She said she wanted to meet alone, and it's kind of a personal... She's my friend, and it's sort of a personal matter. I thought I could convince her to join us, that she was wrong, to give us information. She and I are very close. We worked together for several years. Listen, the two of you are good friends of mine, but I just didn't see it as any of your business at the time.
I'll remember this, Seirys.
Well, that's cool. I'm a figment of your imagination anyway, so like, what do about that?
It's okay, I'll just hold it against the real you.
That's a very healthy way to look at it, I think. Are you seeing anybody, Niklaus? Have you thought about getting professional help?
I have long talks with lots of people in my head.
Oh, that makes sense. Are we two of them?
Niklaus just kind of like tilts his head forward and like opens his eyes a little bit. Like, does he have to say it out loud?
What is my existence?
All right, we might need to wipe this Seirys and get a new one in. Refresh.
As you guys have this discussion, in the back we see that Hyrkir and Seirys are arrested by the police,
Whoopsie.
but are bailed out by Virginia.
Corporate BS.
Niklaus ain't ever going back. Got put in the tube last time. He ain't going back in there again. He gonna die.
Niklaus worked real hard not to get arrested. Real hard.
I'm not going back in the tube. Yeah, that was an odd experience. I remember they kept trying to use Zone of Truth on me. Did the same happen to you, Hyrkir?
Yes.
That makes sense. That is protocol, but it's weird what's happening to you, right?
I mean, I haven't administered it to anyone, so it was just all around weird.
When you're interrogating people, Seirys, as a police officer in your duties, and you cast Zone of Truth on the area, are you not also in the Zone of Truth?
Well, so I'll admit something. I was never very good at this part of the job. I always wanted to try to persuade people to tell me the truth, and that had mixed success. And so they just assigned me to beat work for a while.
So you had ethics.
I mean, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, you know.
Yeah, I'm like really good at hitting.
The scene moves forward. The three of you prepare to infiltrate Lillian's party. And you do so after carrying out a series of tasks.
Does the scene linger on the game of tanks and airplanes?
Yeah.
Battle buddies.
The three of you eventually gain access to the back of Lillian's apartment, and you find a secret teleporter leading to an office of a company called Arcane. You find it partially destroyed and evacuated, and you learn lots of things, including information about the experiments conducted on Hyrkir and Niklaus, the presence of 2 other offices and 1 main office.
That's right.
Evidence suggesting that Arcane is looking for something hidden underneath the plaza, and the name of the woman in the 4th tube, which is Renia. Most importantly, you discover that Lillian is planning on using a Valdivian elemental weapons program that he works on during his day job to murder everyone at the plaza.
It's totally a Lillian thing to do.
Just like very rude of him.
Very rude.
Yeah.
The scene cuts to the three of you rushing back to the plaza alongside Virginia and Galazar, where you quickly realize that Lillian has already deployed the elemental weapons. Virginia and Galazar join you in the fight against the weapons, along with some of the denizens of the plaza and some sympathetic police officers. The three of you take down an earth elemental, but are then confronted by Lillian, who activates a sort of air elemental Iron Man suit and engages the party.
Right, this was quite a difficult battle, if I remember correctly.
The three of you are beat pretty bad in the somewhat long, drawn-out fight, but summon the strength to stand up again with the help of a mysterious benefactor.
How mysterious.
Super mysterious.
Ooh.
10 out of 10 mysterious.
Would mystery again.
The three of you conveniently level up, and you eventually defeat Lillian. And the damage from the battle reveals that there's something underneath the plaza. The three of you head underground briefly, and you discover that there's a very extensive dungeon that lies underneath the city. This part of the dungeon has collapsed, and eventually the three of you decide to head next to Elyon, where y'all believe another arcane office is located.
Right. Yeah, I remember we saw that there were a couple of branch offices, in addition to the one that we were in across the city, that might hold more information that we need to maybe stop things like this from happening again.
Right.
Isn't that where your dad was born? Or no? That was where Renea was born. Renea.
Right, now my father's name came up in one of their files, as did Renea's name. I need to find my father and bring these people to justice.
All throughout this blast to the past, Niklaus, the voices in your head have grown louder and more distinct. And as ghostly Hyrkir, Seirys, and you, Niklaus, look on, you can start to make out some of their conversations. One of them is like, "Oh, he's totally losing it now. It's not going to be long." Another voice goes, "Oh yeah, he's totally going to bite it."
Wow, Niklaus, the voices in your head are kind of mean.
Another one is like, "Hey, shut up! You're just a figment of his imagination.
Ooh, I like this one.
You're actually one of the voices too."
Wait, no, I think I would. I'm serious. I have a whole life. I have a whole life history and so much that I've done. I'm my own person.
Niklaus does not make eye contact with Seirys.
Am I just a figment of someone's imagination? Oh, God!
Another voice goes, "He's gonna have to fix this." Another voice suddenly appears in your head, and it goes, "Hey, Niklaus, wake up."
Uh-oh. Hang on, Niklaus.
Whoa.
Niklaus tries to open his eyes.
No!
I'm being erased from existence. No!
Niklaus, you feel like you're falling, and as you open your eyes in real life, you realize you are.
Uh-oh.
You take a look around as you fall in slow motion, and you realize that you're on the edge of a subway platform, falling towards the tracks. A short distance away, a levitating subway train is headed your way. Hello, it's me again, your somewhat adequate dungeon master, Joey. We'll be continuing with the main campaign again in the next episode. Just a friendly reminder that we recently launched a Ko-fi if you'd like to support us. That's ko-fi.com/aamagicpod if you want to check that out. Join us next time as Hyrkir, Niklaus, and Seirys head to a new part of Falcon's Reach.